Hello, I'm Claire Bridge and these are the latest headlines from Sky News. Indian Army commandos have begun an assault on one of the buildings in Mumbai still being held by terrorists. Explosions and gunfire have been heard after Special Forces units abseiled onto the roof of a Jewish centre where it's thought several Israeli citizens are being held. At the Oberoi Trident Hotel, it's reported that 24 bodies have been found after elite forces regained control, killing 2 terrorists. More shooting and explosions have been heard at the Taj Mahal Hotel, where at least one militant is still thought to be holding hostages. There's also been more shooting at the city's railway station. Conservative leader David Cameron has attacked the arrest of his immigration spokesman Damian Green in connection with a series of leaks from the Home Office. Mr. Green has been released on bail without charge after being detained for 9 hours by Scotland Yard. He says he's done nothing wrong and was only doing his job. Mr. Cameron says the arrest was heavy-handed and raises serious questions about what the government knew and about the state of our democracy. Today is the last day in office for Britain's top policeman. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Sir Ian Blair, resigned last month because of what he said was a lack of support from London's Mayor, Boris Johnson. Sir Ian is warning that his successor faces tough challenges ahead and says politicians must give senior officers breathing room to run their forces.
I had, in my view, no choice. It wasn't a choice that pleased the Home Secretary. But she could also see that there are circumstances in which the way the political settlement is being laid in London now, with Boris becoming the chair, that this is now a possibility, and I think somebody's going to have to look at the legislation.
There's growing speculation that an army coup is imminent in Thailand. It follows the decision by the country's embattled government to scale back its threat to forcibly remove protesters blockading Bangkok's 2 airports. Instead, police are attempting to negotiate with demonstrators. Thousands of tourists remain stranded because of the blockades. The entire crew of an Air New Zealand Airbus are thought to have died when it crashed into the Mediterranean. The A320 jet, which had been leased to the failed UK airline XL, went down near the French city of Perpignan with 7 people on board. 2 bodies have been recovered. The plane was on a test flight before returning to New Zealand. Cases of measles in England and Wales have reached a 13-year high, with the blame being put on the low uptake of the MMR vaccination. The Health Protection Agency says more than 1,000 people got measles last year, the highest since 1995. Measles, mumps and rubella vaccinations have dropped since research claimed they were linked to an increased risk of autism. That research has since been debunked. The oldest person in the world has died at the age of 115 years and 200 days. Edna Parker, who celebrated her birthday in April, died at a nursing home in Indiana. A teacher by profession, she'd been a widow since 1939 and lived alone on a farm until she was 100. She outlived both of her sons and put it all down to an active life with no alcohol or cigarettes. The title of the world's oldest person now passes to another 115-year-old woman in Portugal. Well, those are the latest headlines from Sky News. Elsewhere on our website, find out why a flock of sheep have turned blue in Scotland.